Yeah. No gray area. And no sitting on the fence neither. Couldn't play by the rules. Said grace with the wolves. Ever did it down and back in the Delta 88 late night when you lose. Overpaid my dues.
Yo, what's up YouTube? Back at you with another video. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you guys hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get this channel to 1,000 subs. Appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us. Without you guys, none of this is possible. And all right, let's go ahead and go, man. We're gonna go into a deep dive on Brad Holmes and the situation with the Detroit Lions, especially when it comes to the edge position. Now, Brad Holmes pretty much had all offseason to be able to try to upgrade the edge position. And I know it's like, man, why are we talking about this like all the time? Because we're going to keep talking about it because we know that this is the position that can be possibly holding the team back. We know that the Detroit Lions have an elite offense. We know that the defense still is probably a piece or two away. And we understand that the edge position is probably like the second most important position in all of football when you really look at it. That's why these guys get paid a lot of money. That's why you see Micah Parsons getting a huge deal from the Green Bay Packers. Being able to get to the quarterback is awesome, man. If you can get to the quarterback and cause havoc on Sundays, man, definitely your team could end up going some places. Because when it comes down to it, these are the type of guys that make plays in the playoffs. Being able to get to that quarterback, being able to cause havoc, being able to get that pressure for him to throw off routes sometime. You know, that's what you want, man. Being able to sack the quarterback, being able to stop the run, you know, things of that magnitude. But if you look at the situation, Brad Holmes had the opportunity to go out after a lot of edge position guys this season. And for whatever reason, he decided not to do it. No, you know, we still struggle to bring in Zadarius Smith. Looks like Zadarius may not be a part of this team because right now, currently the roster is at 53 set. So I guess we're going to go in the season with the guys that we have. And you really can't trust the guys that we have because a lot of these guys get banged up, you know. So what I'm looking at is Brad Holmes really did not address the position like you thought that he should have done it. You know, if you really look at it, it's like him patching up an old wound with an old Band-Aid and just trying to just get anybody at the position. Now, we do understand, and we're smart about this, we understand that Brad Holmes has some big decisions to make, especially contractual-wise with a lot of players on the Detroit Lions. You got Aiden Hutchinson, who will be up for a deal. You have Jahmyr Gibbs. He will be up for a deal. You have Jack Campbell. He will be up for a deal. Not only do you have Jack Campbell, you have Brian Branch going to be up for a deal. Tight end Sam Laporta is going to be up for a deal. And we know that Waymo is going to be up for a deal. Now, I don't know if he'll be able to keep all of these guys. He might lose one or two players, but it's going to be the players that really shine, especially this year. Jahmyr Gibbs goes out there and rushes over 1,000 yards. Definitely, he's going to get a big bag. If Aiden Hutchinson goes out there, has anywhere between 10 to 20 sacks on the season, he's going to get a big contract. He's probably going to get the most money out of all of these guys because getting to the quarterback is important. And Aiden Hutchinson definitely knows how to get to the quarterback. So pretty much Brad Holmes is in a situation where his back is against the wall. And I have to call it like I see it. His back is definitely going to be against the wall because he's going to have to decide what's the most important thing. Being able to get to the quarterback and sack the quarterback and stop the run over guys that catch the ball on the team. You know, if Jameson Williams gets a new deal, you know, he goes over, let's give it an example. If Waymo goes over 70 catches with 1,100 yards to go along with anywhere between 7 to 10 touchdowns, then he is going to get a huge deal. So you're talking about Waymo getting anything from maybe 90 to 100 mil contract. Sam Laporta goes out there, do the same thing, 70 balls, 800, 900 yards, plus 7 to 10 touchdowns. He's going to get a huge contract. And then if Jack Campbell has a successful season this year and gets a lot of tackles and does a lot of great things on the field, he's going to get a decent contract. Maybe he'll get anywhere between maybe 40, 50 million, something like that. Or he could get 60, never know. But anywhere between, I'll just say anywhere between 40 and 70, Jack Campbell could end up getting, depending on how he plays and what he does out there on the field, because you definitely looking for somebody long-term at the linebacker position. And the Lions drafted Jack Campbell, and he's panning out. He's really panning out with the roster. So you really got to think what's really going to happen. Like, who's going to be the odd man out? And then Brian Branch has been a dog ever since he's been with the team. One of the best safeties in the National Football League. And if I had to put him in the top 10, I would definitely say he's top 5 out of a lot of these safeties that are in the league right now. Brian Branch is definitely one of the top safeties in the National Football League, so he's going to get a big deal. And then you also have, not to mention Aiden Hutchinson, how huge his deal is going to be because of what Micah Parsons just was able to get. Now, Micah Parsons is a double-digit sack guy, gets double-digit sacks every season. And he's a guy that, a lot of people say, well, man, he's not good at stopping a run. He is getting to the pass rusher. But that's the reason why these guys get paid. They don't just get paid to stop the run. They get paid to get after the quarterback. And if you're a football player can get after the quarterback, then definitely, man, you're going to have some success. So shout out to Micah Parsons. Somebody had to give him the deal. I knew that the Detroit Lions wouldn't be able to afford him, even though we would love to have him. You would love to have somebody like Micah Parsons on the Lions, but it just couldn't happen because we don't have the money to be able to give to a Micah Parsons. So, you know what I'm saying? The biggest thing with us is we're struggling to bring in Zadarius Smith, and it looks like Zadarius will not be a part of this team. Right now, currently, he's not, unless they decide to release somebody and let them go. We decided to go with Marcus Davenport and a bunch of practice players that are at the edge position. Whether or not this is going to work, we don't know. We do know Josh Pascal can play both ways. He can go inside and he can go outside as well. So maybe that's Brad Holmes' plan. But you're still going to have to draft an edge next season. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with the Ahmed, the guy that we took from Boise State. There's a lot of speculation that Brad is going to bring this kid back. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he will come back. We don't know. What we know currently is what we have on our team, and we got to go out there. So pretty much Brad Holmes has let us know that he's going to go out there and put all his eggs in a basket of a player that has consistently been hurt, and that's Marcus Davenport. Marcus Davenport continues to get hurt every season, and this season, for some odd reason, Brad Holmes believes that this guy is going to stay healthy for the full entire season. And if he doesn't stay healthy, then this thing is going to backfire in Brad Holmes' face. And we don't want to be like, I told you so, because we want to win. At the end of the day, we want to win. We were great last year as a football team. We did a lot of things when guys were injured, and we had one of the best records in the National Football League. But you see that that's not enough. You can have the best record in the National Football League and still win and still lose in the playoffs. We lost coming in as the number 1 seed to a quarterback that was a rookie. And we could not stop Jaden Daniels from doing whatever he was doing. So to me, we struggle with the mobile quarterback, and we probably will struggle again this season with mobile quarterbacks. But at the end of the day, man, Brad's plan and provision for this team is, I know he's he's trying to keep the numbers right. He's trying to crunch the numbers and making sure that he doesn't spend so much money on the edge position. That's the reason why we didn't draft an edge in the first or the second round. Because if you think about it, if you draft an edge early and if that guy balls out, then you're going to have to pay that guy a lot of money. You really, really got to think about that. He's going to be up for a huge contract. So that's the reason why we took the kid from Boise State in the 6th round, because he was a cheap draft pick, and we didn't have to pay him a lot of money. And I totally understand. It is your job as a GM to balance the books. I totally understand that. And I got to say kudos to Brad Holmes because he has done a wonderful job when it comes to balancing the books of the Detroit Lions. But now you got to get the team over the hump. We know that we got an elite offense. We have one of the best offense in the National Football League. We got 2 running backs that are studs in Jahmyr Gibbs and Monty. And then we also have one of the best tight ends, young tight ends in the league, in Sam Laporta. And then we got 2 dogs at receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown, and also not only Amon-Ra St. Brown, Waymo. So we still have some talent on this team that is crazy. And now we drafted a rookie in Isaac Tesla who's going to be put to the test, and we're going to see how good he is this season. But at the same time, the goal is to get to the Super Bowl. And if he's able to get to the Super Bowl with Marcus Davenport, hey, so be it. If Marcus Davenport has a phenomenal season, that's what we want. You know what I'm saying? We're not just dumping on Marcus Davenport. We want to see this dude play a full season. We want to see this dude go out there and help Hutchinson and get anywhere from 7 to 10 sacks on the season and be effective out on the field. That's what we want as fans. So at the end of the day, we hope that this doesn't backfire in the face of Brad Holmes for not really deep diving and going to get a legitimate edge that can play along Hutch. You know, so we'll see, man. You know, not bringing in Zadarius Smith back, not really addressing it in the offseason, not really digging deep to go get a player that can really help this team and turn the tables in Detroit. So shout out to Brad Holmes for changing the culture in Detroit. Shout out for all the good things that he's done. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning the Super Bowl, and hopefully he has the roster that's going to be able to do it. If not, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board again. And then next year, you're going to have to try to go out and get a legit edge to help Aiden Hutchinson. You don't want Hutch doing it all by himself. All right, guys. Peace.